Right at 6:30 on this Monday, Montana's fire season nearly upon us. Coming up, find out why fire managers are urging caution and preparedness in spite of a wet summer so far.
The back and forth between President Trump and progressive Democrats continued into Sunday. I'm Laura Podesta with the latest on what was said and tweeted.
Good morning and welcome to your Monday. I'm Missy O'Malley with Chet Lehman. Matt Elwell has not only our work week forecast, but our road construction report here in just a little bit on that. That's right. Top story for you here. After a mild and very wet spring and early summer that has continued at least until now, the Montana fire season has been slow, but officials at the Forest Service say that doesn't mean that we are in the clear.
So far we've had a lot of rain, and with a lot of rain comes a lot of growth, and that is fuel.
As temperatures are on the rise this coming week, fuel really starts to dry out. Fire season can come quickly and spread quickly. Two of the main reasons we see wildfires starting are from lightning and, of course, human activity. Although lightning fires cannot be prevented, fire officials urge people to do everything they can to not start a fire. Making sure campfires are out completely and cold, make sure chains on trailers are tight and not dragging, and, of course, discarding cigarettes correctly.
One of the best ways to protect your home from wildland is to give yourself a defensible space. Around your home there should be nothing combustible like brush or firewood or any of those type of things that could catch fire from firebrands blowing into your area, which will set your house on fire. The other thing is be ready to go.
Some great tips there. Now, meanwhile, two new small wildland fires are burning in the Bitterroot in northwest Montana as well.
They were both caused by recent lightning and are burning in remote areas, aren't threatening any structures at this time.
The Little Rock Creek fire is 1/10 of an acre, and it's staffed with 4 firefighters who were flown into that area last night. The fire is burning in the Little Rock Creek drainage in the Darby-Sula Ranger District, southwest of Lake Como.
Canyon Fire, estimated at 3/10 of an acre, is located west of Hamilton at the top of Blodgett Canyon. There are currently 8 firefighters on scene who were flown in by helicopter or working to suppress that fire, which is currently 0% contained.
Now, firefighters have responded to 30 lightning wildfires and 10 human-caused fires so far this summer in the Bitterroot National Forest. Now, they list that no major fires in Montana right now, although there are 3 wildfires burning in the Chalice National Forest between Boise and Salmon in Idaho.
And it sounds like as meteorologist Matt Elwell joins us, we're talking about making those conditions much more likely: dry, hot, windy.
This is the time of year, and we were just talking about it earlier in the show. This is greener in parts of southwest Montana than we've seen this time of year in a long time.
No question.
Yeah.
So the big question is, what does this week do to us? I think it's going to be relatively dry. We do have some shower and thunderstorm chances, but the heat is building, and our rain chances are fairly slim across most of the area. You look at the planner for today, mid to upper 80s, near 90 degrees, a few clouds, a slight chance of afternoon thunder showers, mainly isolated, but still that potential continues. We're going to talk more about our storm chances and big warm-up for the week. That's all coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you for that, Matt. Checking out our top Treasure State headline for you now. A motorcycle accident on the Beartooth Highway on Saturday afternoon left 1 person dead and another injured.
According to Montana Highway Patrol, a man was killed after his motorcycle went off the side of the road and crashed. That crash also sent a female passenger to a Billings hospital with unknown injuries. Motorcycle driving north on U.S. Highway 212 at about a half a mile north of the state line. Failed to properly turn. Motorcycle went off the right side of the road, crashed into a dry creek bed of rocks and overturned. Both riders were wearing helmets. Identification of the 2 riders have not yet been released.
And President Trump continues to take aim at 4 progressive House members, collectively known as the Squad.
The 4 are all women of color, and that's prompted Democrats to condemn the president's statements as racist. CBS's Laura Podesta reports this morning from New York.
President Trump still has the Squad in his sights. A week ago, the president ignited a political firestorm with a series of tweets aimed at the 4 progressive lawmakers. Yesterday, Mr. Trump had a new message for them. He wrote on Twitter, "I don't believe the 4 congresswomen are capable of loving our country. All 4 are women of color." The House condemned the president's comments last week as racist. But the White House says Democrats are knowingly misconstruing his words.
I fundamentally disagree with the view that if you criticize somebody and they happen to be a different color skin, that makes it a racial criticism.
Republican leaders insist the president is focused on the women's politics.
Our concern and our opposition to what these women are saying, and many other members of the Democratic Party in the House of Representatives, has to do with the fact that they are advocating policies that will destroy this nation.
One member of the squad, New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, believes Mr. Trump is trying to divide the public.
He doesn't want to be president anymore because he wants to pick and choose who he is a president to, and that's not a president.
A new CBS News poll shows 82% of Republicans agree with what the president wrote last week. 88% of Democrats said they did not. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Now, this issue may be overshadowed Wednesday when former special counsel Robert Mueller will testify publicly before back-to-back House committees on Russian interference in that 2016 presidential election.
This next story is kind of fun.
It certainly is. As 6:36 now, electric scooters can now be found right here in Bozeman.
That's right. A company called Blink Rides has introduced 100 new scooters to the area, which can be found scattered around town. For a starting rate of $1.50 and then 30 cents per additional minute, scooters can get you from point A to point B without worrying at all about parking. However, the big concern right now with these electric scooters is safety.
City ordinance requires that you stay off the sidewalks, respect other people's space, and then operate them in the road the same way that you would a bicycle. When you're in the street, you've just got to obey all the traffic laws as you would with any vehicle. Make sure that you're stopping at all the stop signs, keeping your speed under control, and signaling well in advance of your turns.
Now, Blink Rides claims that you can even ride the rental scooters throughout the winter time. Okay.
More to follow on Blink scooters.
I am curious to know how fast they can go. He said, obviously you're obeying traffic law in the bike lane.
We'll find out.
I wouldn't trust myself to be with the rest of the
vehicles. It wouldn't go fast enough for you. I know how that is, though. That's a fact right there. 6:37. Now we're going to get back to more news in this week's Under the Big Sky. We continue to look back at Live from the Divide, our Emmy award-winning feature on small music venue right here in Bozeman.
Doc Wiley, half of the duo responsible for Live from the Divide, was looking for a change, and this desire for the change led Doc to what he describes as a simpler, purer form of musical entertainment.
Well, I'm a third-generation musician. Music's been a part of my whole life. I've been playing since I was like 13, 14 years old, and this is my 35th year in the music business. I've done just about every aspect. Doorman, sound man, the road musician, engineer, producer. Just about every position. I've gotten paid to do it. I ended up in Miami Beach, where I started engineering at Island Records. Did that for a very long time, and then opened up one of the first digital recording studios in '99. Later, some gold and platinum records, Grammy nods, came after a lot of hard work. I moved up here for a change. I had pretty much finished what I called working on the musical industrial complex, and I wanted to work on roots music. Live from the Divide. It's a public radio show that's focusing on songwriters in a house concert environment. It's a series for the songwriter fan, the person who's listening to the lyrics as well as the music. There's no middleman between the fan and the artist, and that's happened so rarely in today's culture. I was into it for the long haul from the beginning. I just believe this is what I'm supposed to be doing. It's pretty cool. I'm a big fan of it.
Now you can check out the full Live from the Divide story and all of our current stories at underthebigsky.com. And if you haven't been to Live from the Divide, you've got to check it out. It is cool. Cheap tickets, you sit there right there, the singer-songwriters telling you how the song was created or telling you about their travels. I mean, you are right there.
The roots of the music. It's awesome.
It's so intimate.
It's very cool.
Very cool.
Yep.
Doc Wiley and Jason Wickens, two extraordinary humans for making that all happen.
Yes, they are.
And more about that, underthebigsky.com. In the meantime, we have to take a quick break.